Hello, Chef Marcus Guiliano here, and I'm your chef on a mission, chefonamission.com. Today's mission is the farm-to-table scam. Farm-to-table is such a trendy topic right now. People like Alice Waters, Rick Bayless, Peter Hoffman, they've been doing it for years, for 30 years. I've been doing farm-to-table, extensive farm-to-table in the late 90s in Colorado. The Colorado State Department of Agriculture called me the Willie Nelson to the farmers of Colorado because of all the events that I did and the promotions I did and the fundraisers I did and the awareness. Got 15 chefs together and we all started contracting from local farms. I was ordering from over 50 small farms in the late 90s, and logistical nightmare to order from that many farms. The billing, the delivery, it was a lot of work. Fast forward now to 2018, we're still buying from over 45 farms on a regular basis. There's more that are mixed in there that I don't list on my website. But a friend of mine was in the restaurant on Sunday. He goes, Marcus, you won't believe what restaurant just got listed as one of the top farm-to-table restaurants in Orange County. Now, I know this restaurant is doing zero farm-to-table. They're buying from Cisco. It's Cisco to table. In fact, I did a video on them earlier in the year because their farm-to-table concept was loaded with Cisco products in the hallway, including the Cisco frying oil and cooking oil that they're proudly using that was stacked up right before the bathroom. And I just feel so compelled when I see restaurants that are abusing that farm to table just to call them out. And it's tough because I'm in a community where if I started listing off all these names of all these scams, people would hate me. People would use, and I've called restaurants before and told them change your menu. You're not serving the right beef. There's a couple restaurants in the Hudson Valley that serve Pineland beef, and they're calling it local beef. Pineland beef is originally from Maine, the original farm, but they have 500, 1,000 farms in the co-op. It's a co-op that they run from the banks of the Mississippi River to Maine, and the beef comes from all over the eastern part of the country. But a lot of restaurants, when they use Pineland on their menu, they local beef, local Pineland, local Pineland. It happens to be hormone-free and antibiotic-free. You can label it as that. It does go into feedlot. It does get finished on consolidated feedlots, so the animals are raised on pasture, but then the animals go to a feedlot and get finished with grain. They get mixed in with other herds, and it's not local beef. And every time a restaurant that says Pineland, local beef, I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. It's not local beef. So I go onto this website. I Google top farm-to-table restaurants in Orange County, and up pops a bunch of lists. Up comes Orange Tourism. I scroll down the Orange Tourism list, which is probably the Orange County Chamber of Commerce. I'm looking at some of these places. I'm like, this is a joke. It's a disrespect to the people who are doing it right. I looked through the list. There's a couple places that are possibly doing it right. I don't know enough about them. I did make a couple phone calls and try to figure out what's in season right now. And the thing you hear from so many restaurants is it's not the season right now. There's nothing available. In the summertime we use lots of local stuff. You're using local stuff because you're tripping over it and people are giving it to you and it's cheaper than what you're buying. You can buy zucchini in the summertime and tomatoes cheaper than you can from the distributor. So yeah, you're doing it because you're saving money as well. But in the wintertime like this, to pay $4 a pound for tomatoes is not what these restaurants are doing. I happen to be doing it. Broccoli this week cost me $50 a case. Cauliflower, $46 a case. And they're not as big of cases as the stuff at the vendors, at the distributors, at Cisco. I can walk into Restaurant Depot right now and buy a case of broccoli, a bigger case of broccoli crowns for $19.99, or I can buy a smaller case for almost $50 is what I'm doing. And that, when these other restaurants are listed next to me when farm to table, it's a disservice to the people that are doing right. It's a scam. It's a shame. It's disgusting. It's really disgusting that these people can ride this farm to table trend and just not go out of their way to look for it. I buy from 2 farm hubs, and I ask the drivers. I say, who else do you deliver to? Where else you going? Who else you? And they'll tell me, man, we don't do much business up here. Our business is in New York City. Brooklyn, New York City. That's where they're making their money. They go, there's not many restaurants that order up here. The one driver goes, yeah, we do a good amount of business with Terrapin. Josh from up in Rhinebeck, kudos to him. The driver totally mentioned him, but the drivers were like, other restaurants? There's not too many other restaurants that are really buying stuff like you and Josh. And so, it's important to support the people that are doing the job right. If you see a restaurant that says farm to table, And you look at their menu and they're not listing any farmers on the name, something's wrong. That's a dead giveaway, total dead giveaway. And then my Google search just now, there's a restaurant in Fishkill or Beacon that popped up. We use all local ingredients. I'm looking through their stuff and it says like Alaskan king crabs. Yeah, of course, king crabs aren't local, but I bet if you did more research on that restaurant that they're not even Alaskan. I bet they're Russian or Chinese caught and processed crabs. I was looking at the price tag on it. I'm like, man, you're not even buying Alaskan. You're totally misleading people on that too. And at the end of the menu, it's like, well, here's our partners that we partner up with. And of course, they list an insurance agency and stuff like that. And they list like 6 farms that are really not year round. There's a lot of year-round growers now, more options than ever, people growing in greenhouses that are winter growers. So we're getting broccoli right now, cauliflower, the bok choy season ended. We just finished the last batch of tomatillos and peppers. Cabbage is still coming up. Lots of tomatoes, all the herbs, all the greens. Now, of course, we're not perfect. I'm not 100% perfect, but we're still going in right now into the coldest winter months with my local purchases still 40%. And that's a huge number for being off season for as cold as it's been, about 40%. This week, I actually probably bought a little more produce because I bought some frozen corn from a local farm. But all the storage crops, the carrots are still out there, the apples are still out there, the pears kind of just ended. I haven't seen any pears on any of the 2 Farm Hub lists. Besides the 2 Farm Hubs, we buy from another vendor who does have some local stuff, but the vendor, it's a big vendor out of the Bronx. There's not much local stuff right now. This vendor just doesn't network with these smaller farms like these small farm hubs. Sullivan County is getting a Farm Hub next year. Super excited about that. They have 20 different farmers already committed to that project. I was asked to be a board member. I just don't have the time to dedicate to something like that, but it's a real passion of mine. So when you go to a restaurant and they say farm to table, and when they can't start listing stuff off to you, and it's not on the menu, tell them shame on them. Shame on them. And if they're using the Pineland name as a local beef, shame on them too. There's tons of local beef out there, much more localized than Pineland. We buy our ground beef and all of our briskets from one farm specifically. We almost buy all the production that we can from this farm. But not all of my meats are local, but a good portion of my meats are local now. Probably about 50% of what we're selling, maybe even more than that. I haven't run analytics on our actual beef products. Are probably local. So yeah, my little rant here, farm to table scam, a lot of hucksters out there, a lot of hucksters in the restaurant industry that are telling you they're doing something that they're not. And orange tourism, shame on you for putting something together. You were just looking for content to promote your area. That's all that is. It's just content to promote your area. You look at now, of course, the list has some more legitimate places, but again, the places that are doing diddly squat, you're doing a disservice by doing that. There needs to be some kind of verification for a farm to table. The word first of all, the term is totally not regulated. I'm green certified by the Green Restaurant Association. I'm regulated. They want to make sure I'm buying local stuff. You know, that regulation there, green certified. If you find a green certified restaurant, I can guarantee you that they're buying more local than any restaurant, than most restaurants that say they're farm to table, because it's in the actual laws, it's in the actual guidelines to be green certified that a certain percentage of my food has to come from local sources. That's in there. So green certified is really more of a stamp of approval than it is more of a stamp of approval than these places saying, oh, we're farm to table, we're farm to table. It's total BS greenwashing that these restaurants are doing. And it drives me crazy and it's disgusting. There's another restaurant locally here we serve, our chefs are inspired by local stuff, or some BS line about that. I'm looking down their menu and I'm like, you got 3 items here. You know, and like I said, beef is one of the easier items to do, and it's like some of these beef brands are just consolidation. It's not even truly all local. You start asking questions, the more and more you get into it. It's crazy it's as a chef, it's mind-boggling. To a consumer, it's probably more overwhelming than anything. But I see the tactics that these people do. Don't fall for that farm to table without asking questions and seeing. And if there is a farm to table restaurant out there that's doing the right job, support them. Support them, support them. Eating local, giving back to our community is super important. And the best way that you can find a farm-to-table restaurant is find the farmer. Find the greenhouses in the wintertime. Ask them who's buying your food. What restaurants are using your food? Because those are the restaurants that I want to support. I'm Chef Marcus Guiliano. Thanks for watching. If you like my videos, please hit like, subscribe, give it a thumbs up, leave some comments.